Hey everyone, welcome to Into the Legit Darkness. I don't know where Brett was or is, but he should be here in just a second. And there he is.
Hi.
Hi. We're running a little behind. That's okay. It's us. Brett had a class tonight. But actually tonight we're going to talk about two topics. I'm not sure which one you want to start with.
I say start with the brethren.
The brethren. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I will tell you this. When I called Brett, I think it was last week, and I was like, "Hey, um, I said, I wanted to do this one show, and I was like, or this one topic, and then I was like, I was talking about a cult or something like that, whatever. And I just want to say, whoever sent me those Cadbury eggs, thank you. Um,
Hmm.
that was kind of random. There's like 48 of them in there. From the last show, we were talking about cults and candy and whatever, and somebody sent me like 48 tiny Cadbury eggs, which was random. So I don't know who sent them to me. I was a little sketched out, or not sketched out, but creeped out by the fact that like some random person.
Early Halloween candy.
I know, and they're my favorite, but it was just random. I was like, I didn't order anything from Amazon, which I was like, I hope I'm not poisoned. So,
Well, put
anyways,
them in your garbage and the brethren will get
yeah. So let's get into that. How
it.
random. Okay. So when Brett was telling me about this topic, I said because I called him. I think it was like yesterday. I was like, I'm so invested in this. It was so interesting.
What topic were you gonna cover? And I mentioned them to you.
She ate the candy eggs. Yes. Okay. I did. I only had like two. I wanted to try them. They're my favorite, but that's random. I was gonna do the Ken and Barbie killers, and I've been wanting to do that like topic for a really long time, but I feel like it's a topic for just some other time. Maybe when I'm in the mood. I
No,
don't know if you could like be in the mood for like a topic. But Brett actually came up with the two topics that we have tonight, which is kind of cool. Um, so we will go ahead and I'll let Brett start on that one.
well,
Because if
anyway.
I'm not mistaken, I think Brett has some personal experiences with both of those, or I could be wrong. So whatever.
Well, yeah, the brethren, they also known as the garbage eaters, are these really weird individuals, highly motivated in the Bible to the point where they read into it too damn deep. And they tour college campuses and try to recruit people. They try to recruit young adults around 18 to say 20, 21, around in there. And once they get you, you're gone. They have you write a letter to your parents saying that I found God and da da da, and don't worry about me, don't come looking for me, I'm gonna be gone for a while. And then they're 9 times out of 10, I mean probably 90% of the time, you'll never see your kid again. So
You
I know
are.
you did. I know you did a lot of research on it,
I was fascinated by this. Okay,
Reenie.
I really
Yeah,
was. I was really fascinated by this cult because I've never actually heard of this cult. Anyways, and there's so many cults out there. There's way too
yeah.
many.
This one's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in their cult. in,
Right.
in this cult. They're all over the place. I
There.
mean, hell, they even tour. They even cruise Harvard University.
Yeah, and they were like, I know that they were at Northwestern, and basically what they're doing is they're going up to these college students, and they're basically saying, "Do you know the difference between right and wrong?" Well, clearly most people do at, college students do, or it's college. Maybe you just don't really want to do the right thing at that moment in time or whatever. It's college. So anyway, story goes on is I this is what I find kind of fascinating on this. Okay. So these guys are riding around on bikes,
Bicycles.
bicycles, right?
Yeah.
And they come,
From
I mean,
state to state.
yeah, or buses. Okay. And then they have this guy who, let's kind of get back to the basics there. His family was Pentecostal, and I don't discriminate against any religion. I'm a religious person. I know, Brett, you are a very religious person.
Mm.
Brett just came from a class because he is learning about becoming a deacon. So, anyways, that's besides the point, but we're going to kind of get a little religious in this topic of conversation. Not too religious, but we're going to get into just a little bit. You know that. So, anyways, he was Pentecostal, right? His dad was a preacher, Pentecostal, part-time Pentecostal preacher. His mom, well, his dad really couldn't find this guy, Jim, who started this cult. His parents were they weren't,
Are you talking about Jim Roberts?
mm-hmm. Like when he
Okay.
was
Yeah,
younger,
he was the leader. Well, he was the leader for until he died, and
right.
I don't know who stepped into his place. I
Well,
think he died in 2015.
right, but we have to get back to the basics here and how he grew up religious. Okay, he grew up
Yeah,
Pentecostal, right? Um, so he did grow up religious. So we can establish that at the end of the
yeah.
day.
And Pentecostals are kind of strict.
They are, and I have a really good friend who is Pentecostal. He is actually a preacher. Um, cool dude, very cool dude, and I love having conversation with him because we do have differences of opinions, but we can all agree on him and I can agree on one thing, you know. But
Mm.
that's life, because it doesn't stop us from being friends. So what I'm trying to get at, so he at this point really just kind of he out of all his brothers sisters he was the only one to graduate high school, and like that was kind of like a huge accomplishment in like his family. Not saying that if you don't finish high school like you're a nobody, just just then, you know what I mean. So
Mm.
he's traveling. He felt that there was like a lot more to life, like in a spiritual sense, a lot more to life. Um, but I kind of feel like when he started this whole cult, garbage eaters, and it's just a name that people have given them because they actually do eat out of the garbage. But we'll
Oh
get to
yeah,
that in a little bit,
especially fast food places.
right? And so basically, um, he just targeted people that I feel that were kind of like loners, kind of in a way, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
They can't even. They have to get permission from a. They can. They can only see people amongst themselves. They can only talk to people amongst themselves.
Yep,
And
but if they get too
if
close,
they want to date and get like get married or whatever, they have to get permission.
well, yeah, but if I heard that if they get too close to what um their little kind of like their cell type things, because we gotta factor in when he's recruiting these people, okay, and he's actually sending out his followers to recruit
Yeah.
these people. Um, the person that has been there the longest actually is kind of like in charge. So I do know that they had somebody that was like 17, right? And let's say I'm 40. I still have to listen to the kid that's 17 years old because he is considered an elder at the end of the day.
Yeah, because he only had two. He had 2 years in, and you only have one.
Right, exactly. So,
Yeah.
but I do know that they don't let everybody get too close to one another. Reason being is I think in his mind, it put like some kind of belief system. Like if somebody started questioning, they're like, oh, okay, now I could probably convince this person that this isn't the proper way. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Okay. So, anyways, story goes on is they bicycle around from college campus. They just bicycle all around the United States. You never know
Oh
where you're
yeah.
going to be. So,
Yeah.
and I know everybody's going to say, well, what about shelter? Okay. Good question. So they do find abandoned houses and they'll go up to landlords and or whoever owns the house and says, "Hey, I'll clean it up for you." And they're gonna live here like rent free. And
Yeah.
sometimes one
For a few
person could live
weeks.
there. Yeah, for a few weeks they fix it up and then they move on. Now they do, and I don't want to say that they're just dumpster diving because there is people that actually do dumpster dive, and I'm not saying that it's wrong. I mean, I've watched extreme couponing where they're like, "Oh, we got to go dumpster diving because I have to find that coupon." Whatever. Okay, I don't condone it. Okay, I mean, I don't think I could dumpster dive, like not even for a coupon.
Oh man. Yeah. I couldn't eat a half-eaten burger. No.
No, but I did
No.
hear that they would go to like fast food places and they would say, if you're throwing that out, can we have it?
Yeah.
Um, which I guess that's technically not dumpster diving, but technically you could go to a supermarket and say, "Hey, is there any?" And I just want everybody to know this. I have not done it, but I do know that you can do this.
Well, just go behind Walmart. You got to see the food they get rid of, but it expires and stuff. My God, they got carton 20, 30, 40, 50 carts full. Seriously. You know, I mean, you say from their produce to meats to dairy to everything.
um. So, anyway, story goes on is, I think you're watching, Jerry. But anyway, um, so anyway, story goes on is you can technically go to a grocery store and say, "Hey, do you have like again, I was watching this cheaps, I don't know what it was. Um Extreme cheapskate or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. And they would actually go to a grocery store and be like, "Hey, do you have any like fruit that's about to expire that you could probably sell me for like 10 cents or you're just gonna throw it anyways?" And the grocery stores will naturally do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Um but at the same time, they're kind of doing that at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I just don't understand, to be quite honest with you. And I understand that this is a religious, it's a religious cult at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, but I feel like they wanted to take the King James Bible, and I know that that is pretty much a, a big Bible. Um,
Yeah, that's the one that's the most common in Christianity.
right. But we also have to remember, and I'm just going to say this for the sake of argument. I think when it comes to that, okay, and we all have something that we want to believe in, right? And you're a religious person, I'm a religious person. But I feel like at the end of the day, we can go to church, right? And we can walk out of there, right?
Yeah.
And it's different. These guys cannot walk out of there. They basically have to go to these college campuses, technically preach the word of God, and then decide, well, if I question this, they will actually shun them like the Amish basically does. Like if they, their kids don't want to stay Amish. So basically, it's something kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
They leave them with no money. These guys cannot have any money whatsoever. None. And if they
Well,
had money, they have to give it to
yeah, I was just gonna
the
say
cult.
when they recruit, when they get a new person or whatever, that person has to turn over all their valuables, their bank accounts, and all that stuff over to the leader. You know, so if they had a house and cars and stuff like that, 401s, um, savings, annuities, it all goes to that Jim Roberts. That Jim Roberts lives like a king.
Well, here's the okay, but here's the thing. Let's get technical, okay? We all know that you come into this world and you don't have you're not materialistic, okay? You don't
Hmm.
come in with materials. You don't come in with clothes. You don't come in with all your Adidas sneakers or whatever, right? I just
Hey, that's Nike.
that was like whatever. That was like the first one that came to mind. Adidas, okay? Um, then we grow up and then we're like, okay, well, I need I don't know, the new Gucci bag or a new pair of Nike shoes. I don't know, maybe Air Jordans. I don't know, whatever everybody's into. That's not my thing. Um, the Gucci bag is my thing though. But anyways, story goes on is you do leave this world with nothing again. Okay, so I definitely understand where it says like they don't need any material things. So they're sewing their own clothes. Men are wearing beards and basically they're like the ones out basically dumpster diving. The women are supposed to be this submissive to their brothers and sisters because they technically cannot have any sexual relations with each other at the end of the day because basically he's preaching abstinence,
Yeah.
right? Unless you get permission. Now,
Do you know they had one of them had a baby and they would because they don't believe
mhm,
also you can't go see doctors and stuff, so the baby
yes.
died.
Okay, but simple medical treatment, okay? Like a toothache. I know like the guy, the cult leader, Jimmy, right? They couldn't determine they didn't know if he died of cancer or if he died of pneumonia, which was, I don't know how, if he was getting any kind of treatment for cancer. I'm probably going to say no. And I want to say that if he did die of pneumonia, because they couldn't figure that one out, naturally, it's going to go ahead. That can be cured as well. Okay. So just simple stuff like eyeglasses, they couldn't have any of those. So if you can't see, I mean,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but like um the kid, for an example, I did hear that they actually, yeah, that kid died of, and I can't remember what that child died of. It was a baby from what I'm understanding.
Yeah, it was a baby
Mhm.
that was born within them because well, you know how a baby's made.
Well, of course, I know how babies are made. But what I'm saying is that child still needs care. And I did watch this interview, and these other members were like, "Well, how did you feel when knowing that baby died? Like knowing that they couldn't really describe like how they felt. There's kind of like, I don't know. I honest to godly do not know. It's a baby. It's a child, and
Oh,
you
I
would
can't believe
assume
the mother said that.
the mother didn't. It was just members, ex members. Okay. And
Oh wow.
I wanted there was one story that I did watch. And I will say that these parents, there's a group out there, um, a parents group that these parents are looking for their children. Okay. And they got surveillance out there. Um, they're trying to find their kids. Like if you go on their website, it has pictures that these people have taken, and they're like, if you know this, I'm looking for this child, and if this is one of your kids, I can try to help you out. The community on that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And when we were watching the documentary, and I know I because I called you and I was like, hey, did you watch some of that documentary? um, one stuck out to me, one family stuck out to me the most is when they actually found their son, and they basically, in not so many ways, kidnapped him. I mean, I would too. Okay,
Yeah.
if that was me and I see my daughter, I'd be like, I'm pulling her by her hair, be like, let's go.
Yeah. And deprogramming them is hard.
Well, that's another thing. Like, I mean, how would you even go about that? I mean, at the end
I
of the
don't know.
day.
I don't. I'm not. Yeah, I read some stuff about it a long time ago, and I really, honestly, I forgot what a lot of it is. But yeah, it's just you lock them up, and therapy 8 hours a day, every day.
Okay, but that's okay. But let me ask you that therapy, 8 hours a day, isn't that still cult like though? When you think about it, it's like
Well,
I'm looking my kids up 8 hours a day. That's cult like.
unfortunately, you have to because they'll escape and go right back.
Well, and like I said, this one they did kidnap their son, and he actually they had to stop for gas, okay, because they made it to another state, okay, and he's seen this cop, and he went up to this cop and like, my parents are kidnapping me. Mind you, this guy is probably in his, I think he was like in his 30s. What are you telling me? I get what you're trying to do. So they said, okay, just get back in the car. We'll take you back to where you need to be, so on and so forth. Well, when he got back there, he kind of started questioning because you got to remember they were in the car together for maybe 5 hours, right?
Yeah.
And I think his parents got like it clicked with him. It's kind of like, okay, maybe they were right. So he basically got shunned because he started questioning what Jim had to say. I mean, he goes by many different. This whole group goes by many different things. Okay,
Yeah.
the travelers, the road ministry, the body of Christ, the brothers and sisters. I mean, however you want to call it, the garbage eaters is just kind of something that just kind of came about because they were just eating out of the trash. At the end of the day, they seen them eating out of the trash. So he started questioning the belief system. And then they're like, okay, well, you have to go, I don't know, to a different state because you never know where you're going to be from day to day. You could be in like Illinois, and then tomorrow you could be in
Missouri.
California. Yeah, Missouri, California, wherever you're supposed, like, you could be there for a day, or you get on the bus and you're gone. Which I find very odd.
They hit all the college campuses. They go to different towns and hit all the college campuses.
Okay, but here's the thing. If we want to get technical, and you can't, and again, you have to basically cut off all ties with your family members, correct?
Yeah.
Family members, maybe boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever the situation may be. You have to just give up your life.
What did they? Do you remember? I'm trying to remember. They make you give up your family and your friends and everything for a reason, and I forgot what that reason was. They told them.
Okay.
Didn't they say that they were evil or some shit like that?
Yes. Reason being is because they said, okay, so basically his follow, like this whole garbage eating cult, he claimed that the end was near, and basically, how was it kind of worded? The end was near, and he wanted to make sure that all these guys were going to go to heaven, right? Because, like I said, they're making their own clothes. It does say, like, give up all in the Bible. Okay, again, we have to take what the Bible says and what it technically means. Like, if you want to get religious, you have to distinguish between the two, and you have to kind of read between the lines. Okay, at the end of the day, Brett, you know this.
Yeah.
Okay, when you go to church, you have to read between the lines. Okay. You're understanding. Me and Brett both practice Catholicism, so we might be referring to that a little bit more than, something else. So we'll probably always refer to that. But if you were sitting there and he's preaching about, I don't know, honoring our mother and father, right, and so on and so forth, right? We also have to take what he is saying because he is like basically putting it in a sermon that we're supposed to understand, correct? As we're following along in our Bible. So we are going to take that and say, okay, we're going to take that concept and we're like, okay, that's fine. But I'm assuming in that King James Bible, it didn't say, well, I think you should just, just do away with your mothers, fathers, whatever. It's basically because they were going to, basically how he put it. I don't want to get these mixed up because I know we're talking about two cases, so I'm probably not going to quote this. But basically, the rest of everybody else was going to hell, and they were not, because the end was near and they were going to heaven because they practiced that Bible and they were living just without material things because that's what the Bible basically told them to do. not, not the fact that they're, basically sleeping wherever. I mean, let's face facts there. I'm sure
Yeah,
at one point they were just not constantly living in houses that they could find. And I mean, I'm sure that they were camping out. I mean, they're traveling, they're on bikes, they're on buses. But
yeah.
then how are they getting bus money is my question.
That's a
Okay,
good question.
okay, but let's think about it this way. So if they were calling, right? If they were calling Jim and he was telling them where to go, he was telling the elders where to go because Jim was still like the leader, okay? And then you still have the elders, but it's not like we think that it is. Like I said, I could be in that cult longer than Brett and he would still have to basically listen to me, which is weird. Even though he may be older. So we got to look at the elders in a different aspect than what we normally would.
I'm offended by that.
I'm sorry, Brett, but I was there first.
You respect your elders.
I know, but now I was there first, so now you have to respect me.
Can't you see I'm white?
I know, but I mean, I think about that though. If you really think about it, like, I mean, how would you want to take orders from a 17-year-old?
I don't know.
Honestly. Okay, but let's factor this in. Okay, let's say that a 6-year-old was there before you. How are you going to take orders from a 6-year-old? Oh, but let's go back to kids here. And I think this is why he didn't really like kids in this group that he had. You were not allowed to laugh. You were not allowed to play. Kids learn as babies. And how are you going to have that? That's probably why he didn't want anybody reproducing at the end of the
Yeah,
day. Because babies, they play. You have to play with them, and they laugh.
yeah.
And you want to see them smile. You're not supposed to show any emotion. Like that in itself is baffling. But okay, so now I'm curious. Okay, where are they going to find a payphone? Okay, now that they don't have payphones anymore. So if
Hey,
they don't,
yeah, they do. Yeah, you will
where
see one every once in a while. There's
where
one
Brett,
down. There's one on Derby Street here in Pekin. I
does
took a
it work?
picture of it and put it on Facebook and asked if anybody knew what this thing was.
No, but the question is, does it work?
I Yeah, actually it did. I got
He's like, I
a
think I got a
tone.
quarter. Okay, but let's say that they're in an area that doesn't have payphones. What are they?
Yeah,
How are they communicating with one another now? How are they
yeah,
supposed to
I
know
don't
where they're
know.
supposed to go? Because
Yeah,
if they're not supposed to have technology, then what?
I I don't know. I mean, anymore today, hell, you can go get a free cell phone from the government.
Okay, but
It's not worth a crap, but it'll make a phone call.
okay, but these guys are living off the grid. But if you really think about this, at the end of the day, you could actually there's more like basically kind of just go off the grid yourself. I mean, and
Hmm.
just kind of disappear and know that you're still alive. And I mean, who's going to say anything
Yeah.
at the end of the day? I mean, if I disappeared, I'm pretty sure somebody would be like, I got to find her.
Yeah, I watched when I was watching one of the documentaries on the Brethren. This mother, after like 2 years of searching for her son, she finally found him, and he was in a coffee shop with another Brethren,
Uh
and
huh.
I'm not sure what they were doing. I think they were talking about plans or where their next traveling area was going to go. And she walked up to him and said something, and finally he said, "Yeah, I know who you are, Mom." And got up and gave her a hug. And for a second there before they departed, it sounded like he wanted to go with her.
Okay,
And
but
but
here's the thing: if you were to see, um, like your mom after I don't know 10 years, and she finally finds you, you got to feel something at that point like maybe this is not right. And I understand that they're to them religion is a huge thing,
yeah,
okay? But at the end of the day, I feel like they didn't they didn't really read their Bible properly.
I know.
I know that that sounds okay. There's
just,
many different versions of the
just
Bible.
like,
Okay.
Bin Laden didn't read the Quran correctly.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna make a joke about this. Oh my gosh, I knew you're
Hey,
gonna.
what time? How long does this show go? How long does
We
our
got.
show go
Oh,
for?
oh crap.
Because
We got.
yeah, we don't
Sorry.
have a whole lot. Of,
Hold on. Okay, guys. Okay, so we're so gonna switch topics, and I do want to say this before we switch topics. This is going to be a really, really sensitive topic, and it does not. Um, it's not how Brett and I feel or how the station feels whatsoever. Okay, and this is just a topic of conversation.
yeah, don't
And
take it to heart.
no, don't. Whatever you do not take it to heart. And it, like I said, it's a very sensitive topic. It really made me mad. I know it's made Brett mad, and it should make all of us mad. Okay, it really, really should. So, and I do want to say that it has nothing. It's just a topic, and we kind of want people to know about this. And
Yeah,
I
because
will
this jackass actually got followers.
yeah, that's the problem. And I will say that there is a website, and I did go down the rabbit hole a little too far, and I thought I was going to throw my cell phone. And I sent Brett a text message last night, and I was like, "Did you see this?" Okay, so we are going to talk about Matthew Hale, and like I said, this is a very sensitive topic. Um, again, it's not how Brett and I feel. It's just a topic, and I want everybody to know that. And it's like I said, it made me mad, and it's. I'm just gonna say this, okay? It made me so upset. It made me kind of throw up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let Brett take this one because I feel like
I,
I just talked his ear off for like
I learned about this guy Matt Hale from SIU, where I went to school down in Carbondale, and I worked as a student aide in the law at the law school while I was going to college there. And this guy Matt Hale went to law school there, and come to find out, he was from East Peoria, and he was a severe white supremacist, and he my God, he had a church in East Peoria. I don't know where it's at. I don't even know if he still has it, but and he had a big following. And man, he had people that were spreading his literature because if you weren't white, you were evil. You were wrong, and
okay.
you should be killed. That
I'm actually gonna pull the website up because I did save it to my home screen, and
would be great. Yeah.
I did save it to my home screen. Okay, so I do want to say this. Okay, at the age of 11, he was decided that he was going to be a racist, and his dad did not care. He was letting him like having headquarters. Okay,
It was not just black people. It was Asians, it was Arabics, it was everybody.
um,
Only white people were a privilege to him.
okay. So I guess where I'm having the issue is if you know that your kid is going to be a racist. Okay, mind you, this his dad was a cop. Okay, this kid was 11. Okay, and he is trying to like spread his BS all over thinking that he's Billy Badass, okay, because he's not, okay. I just want to know how an 11-year-old gets that in their mind if they didn't come from their parents, okay. That to me in itself, like, you don't, I always raise my children, your skin tone does not matter at the end of the day. The person matters at the end of the day. I'm sorry, now I'm just mad. Okay, sorry, I'm getting a little mad. All right, and I'm telling you why. On this website that he's got these followers, there is a site for children that you have stories about.
Comic books.
Okay, on this website, and I'm not going to give the website out because I don't want you guys spreading like sending bad emails and whatever. Okay, we're not going to do that. We are better people than that. Okay, We're not going to spread hate when there's already hate. Okay, because he's a hater. Um, so, anyways, let's talk about why he is in prison for 40 years. Okay, so basically, he got in trouble. All right, he wanted to practice law, and he did pass the bar exam, but they would not give him a license here in Illinois. Thank God.
See, that's one thing that might become controversial with, because he passed the bar. I actually think he should have gotten his license.
Okay, no, no,
You
no, no,
know, I
no,
mean,
no, no,
you
no.
got free speech and all this other crap. That
Okay,
you
but
know,
hang on,
but
hang on, though, for a second. Okay, hang on for a second. You're gonna let a racist become a lawyer. What happens when it's time to like pick a jury? Okay, and he's like, I don't want, I only want white people on the jury.
hey,
I
no
mean,
one said he was going to get business. Who
I'm
said he's even going to get customers? I mean, I mean,
because there's people out.
I really doubt anybody's going to hire him to be a a public defender.
I'm not
you
saying
know,
that, but
he
I mean, he can get any case that he wants, right? And I'm sure it's probably because of his
yeah, I'm sure he's
following
done his
stuff, right?
charm.
Too. Okay. But like him and his brother got in trouble for pulling guns on African American people. Okay. I mean, and then he didn't want to tell anybody where his brother was. And then like I said, the craziness that went on with that. And for an example, and I don't want to, start like this whole big thing. But he wants to sit there and say that on this website, like they're basically targeting Jewish people, okay, and
Yeah,
they're worshiping Hitler, okay. But my thing is why, okay, uh, so you're gonna tell me that they could give him they want to give him. I don't know if that's controversial, and I'll tell you why. No matter at the end of the day, he would still have to deal with jury members. Okay. And let's look at his past crimes. I mean, he was about to, for one, he got in trouble, sued because he came up with a church name that was already a church name. He failed so many times at like getting groups together in college. Um,
why? Gee, I wonder why.
okay, but why couldn't he just start like a religious group like a normal person?
Yeah,
No, that's
I,
not even normal.
I
Okay.
I had no idea. Yeah.
Okay.
He just he the funny thing about it was I was so intrigued about this guy that I actually threw my name on his in his little diocese thing I didn't put my actual name, but I put a different name in there and a way to contact me. And man, he started throwing all this literature and stuff at me, and I was actually reading it, and I was like, Jesus Christ, man, where the hell did you come up with all this crap? It
Um,
was so far fetched bullshit that it wasn't even funny.
well, and like I said, they have what is called holy books on their website, and I'm looking at their website right now. Um, I
I
hate
mean,
looking
my
at this.
God, man. He
Now, explain to me what the white man's Bible is, because I'm dying to find out.
the King James,
Really?
according to him.
No, I'm just saying. What is? I looked it up, right? And it's just BS. Okay, it's BS. It's about just the white race. Um, and I don't understand it. I really do not understand it.
He threw
Again,
the King James book at me when I was like you said, when I was conversing with him.
he what? You were
He threw the
conversing with him
King
like
James
physically.
Bible at me
You
when I was
were
conversing with him.
you were conversing with him.
Yeah, like I said, I made a fake account on his deal, and I started getting all his literature and stuff like that. Yeah, I talked to him directly. I told him, I go, yeah, I told him I was a law student at SIU down there, and blah blah blah. And he's like, "Oh, brother, you need to pass our literature. Here it is." He started sending me all this literature and all this other crazy stuff. And I'm like, "Man, I can't pass this out." I go, "They'll kick my ass out of law school down here." And he's like, "Yeah, I know how they are. I went to law school down there, and yeah, we carried the conversation on for a little while. I'm just like, man, you're one sick fuck.
Okay. Well, I do know that when he was passing out pamphlets in East Peoria, and remember, Brett lives in close by Peoria. Okay, I live close by Peoria.
I am peeking.
I'm like 45 minutes from Peoria. Okay. Now, if he was handing out books, okay, on literature on that, I'd probably like, I don't want your garbage. I don't want your garbage. But he got in trouble because they called it littering. Okay. No, she
Yeah,
shouldn't
we
have
hadn't
been
even talked about how
arrested.
he got. We hadn't even talked about how he got. He ended up getting in trouble because when he passed the bar and a judge put a stop on issuing him his license to practice law. So the guy goes out and tries to hire an assassin to take the judge that denied his law.
But remember, that's the weird thing.
And he ended up, and the assassin was an FBI agent.
Right. And they had all these recordings. Now, this is my favorite. When he went ahead and did this, and I don't care, and I know that they said that it wasn't related. That judge's mom and dad ended up murdered. You're gonna tell me that he probably didn't have a part in that? Like
Oh
he
no,
were
are you serious?
Yeah, they were murdered a week later, and they're like, oh no. The cops were like, oh no, it had nothing to do with his group. I'm calling the bullshit flag on that because
Yeah.
I think that had something to do with him. Okay,
I don't really believe in coincidence like that.
that's too much of a coincidence at the end of the day. Okay, too much of a coincidence at the end of the day. So then he's got some of these followers that are in Colorado who was going to try to go into the synagogue and blow it all up in Colorado. And he is like, he was all happy in his mugshot. And I was like, how dare you look like that? Like, I would have if I was a cop, I would have, you know what? I would have beat the crap out of him just for being like, I don't know. I don't know why it just bothers me. And it's hard to talk about. This conversation is a really hard thing for me to talk about because, like I said, I went to the children's section on this website. Okay. On this website.
Yeah.
And it baffled me that the fact that they have these short stories about, quote unquote, white power, whatever, that whites are taking over the world. Like, we need to take over, or whoever.
You know what? Instead of throwing him in jail, they should have sent his ass to Africa and dropped him off into one of those tribes.
Okay.
And see what he would have done there.
Okay, but my question though is, his dad knew exactly what was going on because the headquarters were right out of his dad's home in East Peoria, and his dad was an ex-cop. Now you would think that you would say, hey, yeah, let's not do this. Okay. So, I mean, I don't think he just woke up one morning and said, you know what? I'm gonna start a hate group. I'm gonna start a hate group. Or maybe he did. I don't know. I don't just get up in the morning and say, well, I think I'm gonna move.
Some people
I've done it, but
some people just aren't right in the head.
Okay, but as a parent, all right, and both of you and I are parents. If my daughter woke up and was like, you know what, I'm going to start, I don't know, a hate group, I'd be like, what in the hell is wrong with you?
You know what my daughter did a few weeks ago, actually a couple months ago? She called me up because she went to stay the night, like kind of like I don't know, a girls' night deal at a friend's house. My daughter's 23. But anyway, she called me and she kind of was whispering. She goes, Daddy. I'm like, what, babe? I'm the only white girl here. The rest are black. And I'm like, that's all right. I go, have fun with that, man. A lot of times they're a lot of fun.
Well, and here's the thing.
She actually ended up having a really good time. I guess her friend's mom ended up pulling her in and helped her bake some stuff or whatever. She ended up having a really good time. Hell, I used to go hang out with black guys, where I worked at in Rhode Island, and we'd go, we'd watch the Super Bowl parties. We'd have Super Bowl parties watching Tom Brady freaking throwing the football in the Super Bowl.
Okay, right. And I understand that 110%, but I guess I never looked at somebody and was like, okay, well, I don't like you because of your skin tone.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
no,
really,
I never did that either.
okay. I'm just not that type of person, and I don't raise my kids like that. I raise my
No, I don't
children,
either.
and you should be raising, and I'm not telling anybody how to raise their children, but I'm just probably going to tell you how you should raise your children. Okay. Take my
Uh,
advice. It doesn't matter what color skin somebody is at
a
the end of the
human
day.
being is a human being.
Exactly. And then it's basically all this BS with these kids. And and I think this is what irritates me the most because they're children, okay? And there's parents that are saying, this is okay. Like, you are only allowed to breed with your own race. No, that's not true, okay? It's not. But I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to give everybody out the website so you all can do all this. But I was shocked that I found this. And because they have the kids portal, they have a prison portal. Like, all the members that have went to prison for hate crimes at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Why would you need a portal for? I mean, then there's pictures of like, oh, look at this person, look at this person. They're there for a reason, and they probably should stay there. Okay,
I think
and
some.
I hope they get their asses stomped. And I hate to say, oh my, again, this is why it's irritating me so much. This whole case in general, just irritating me. Reason being is because
Somebody did his wiring wrong.
Okay, but I'm telling you, where was his dad in all of this? Where was
Where
he?
was the mother?
Who knows?
Yeah. I
Probably
mean,
working. But why would you let your son have headquarters out of your house? I mean, clearly. He's
I
like,
don't know.
my followers just come to East Peoria.
Maybe
But stay here.
obviously his dad felt the same way. That's about the only thing you can say, you know.
Okay, but at the end of the day, and I understand that, like, as parents, you're a parent, I'm a parent, we try to let our kids flourish and try new things. I don't think that that would be something that I would let my child try.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
like,
me
that's
neither,
not,
but
no, and
me
I
neither,
understand.
but
I mean,
I mean, but now he can sit there and he can look and say, "I'm a proud father. My son's in prison now because I didn't stop the bullshit when when I should have."
but your dad's a cop. You know your ass is probably going to get in trouble for all the BS
Well,
that you're
yeah,
causing.
exactly. That's why I said. That's why his dad's sitting there looking at his son in prison now, saying, "I should have stopped the bullshit back then." You know that
Yeah, but I
he's
mean,
a proud
but
father with
his
his
dad
son
could.
in prison. So
I don't know. I don't even know why you were conversing with him in the first place.
because he's insane and I
Okay.
wanted to hear it.
Okay, I mean, I have written people, okay? I mean, I will be the first one to admit, like, I have gotten emails back from, like, when I, like, was doing, like, studying about Heaven's Gate and stuff like that, and I, like, there's an email address, and I went ahead and I was kind of conversing there for a while, and then they're like, I need $10 if you want the book. I don't want to pay $10 to get your book that I could care less about. I was just kind of curious. Maybe I wanted to join your cult. Like, are you guys still up and running? Okay. I understand what you're saying, but to give you pamphlets and then be like, here you go, just spread them out.
Yeah.
Why? What is that? I mean, what is that really going to do at the end of the day? Yeah, what he wanted to take over the world.
You're gonna fly by the Earth every so many years, and on the back of a comet.
Really?
But because the gay guy that couldn't confess that he was gay, so he castrated himself. So he.
I mean, like I said, I mean, we could go on and on about this Matt Hale guy. He just irritates me. It really does. It makes me just want to throw my computer across the room just because
Maybe
it
I
makes
should
me so.
never have mentioned his name.
No, because here's the thing. You know what? I will say this. If anybody has any questions about it, they can get a hold of me and I will give you the information that you need. But I will not give out the website. It took me a really, really long time to even find the website. And it's going to make you mad too, just like it made me mad. And I did. I like screenshotted it to you last night. I'm like, Brett, check this out. Check this out. And he's like, oh, wow. Like, he he knows that I will go to the ends of the earth to find things. He
I
should
thought I
know
was looking at a
better.
page out of Dungeons and Dragons.
She did a lot of research on it. But like I said, if you guys got any questions, and we do not condone his behavior whatsoever, and I do want to say that doesn't reflect how we feel. And it definitely does not reflect how the station feels, because that's just not who we are. So I know we only have like a couple minutes left. And I know we touched base about a lot of stuff, and I really don't have a topic right now. I know it's not going to be Matt Hale, I'll tell you that right now. So we'll have everybody go for the night, and I will see you guys next week.
Yeah, give me a holler tomorrow so we can talk about what we're going to do next week.
All right, thank you.